Okay, it's time for another unboxing video. This one is from Jazwares, obviously. Well, maybe not so obviously, but this just came in a couple days ago, and we'll get into it. So it's from their Vault collection for Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron and Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron, and they usually come in several packaging, which is kind of nice. So even the shipping box is not particularly nice, but it's nicer than just a plain box. You know, it's semi-decorated. Then you get this, and then you get this, and then you always get like some cardboard pieces to protect the corners, so for the collectors, the item stays nice in there. Let's see. I'll put this out side. Right, so that's good. So you should always get a good condition box. This should just drop out a little more easily. And then, of course, you got them on the other side of the box to protect the other corners and edges. And there you go. So this is this was kind of unexpected. This is Sabine Wren's TIE Fighter from Star Wars Rebels. And you see, they usually have like again another cardboard box with some print and, you know, simple print. There's no color on these, but it kind of shows that off. Then you go in here, then you get to the nicer box, the actual real packaging. So
My pen died.
Slight interruption. Okay, so let's see. So come out nicely. I don't usually preserve boxes for most of the Galaxy Squadron stuff, but let's see, this might help. I'll just get from this end and push. But the ones from Vault I will probably try to keep, just because they're just particularly nicer if I have the space. So luckily I only actually have about 2 from them. They have a lot of other nice ones, but so far that's been it. So we'll get that out of the way. And then, so it's nice. Well, actually, technically, it's actually 4 boxes that are packaging the outer shipping. The one that protects this, right? And then this sleeve is kind of another one, but you can just look at the artwork here. Let me turn on the light on the side, and you can see, zoom up. Yeah, so this was like I think a rare or a chase, either one of those. Either they're still kind of hard to get. From, I want to see, maybe series 1 or 2 at the latest. It was pretty early on, and I wasn't collecting it quite back then, but I could have sworn, I vaguely recall seeing one anywhere, like a main retail, like Target maybe, but I feel like it was at, perhaps like at Ross. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, but then I wasn't collecting it, and I didn't bother to pick it up. But in retrospect, of course, should have, because then, you know, the secondary market for this was is quite expensive. So, well, yeah, it's quite a bit more, obviously, than what you would pay if you could get it at retail. I think their ongoing rate right now is, when I last checked, when this came in, or when it was released, and I just picked this up, they were about 150-ish, like the mid hundreds, not quite 200, but that's what they're averaging, maybe 170, maybe slightly lower than 150. That's what I was kind of quickly glancing on eBay. Whether they're actually selling for that much is, I'm not sure, but at least now that this is out, I'm sure those prices may tank. Although, you know, that was like originally the one from a rare from you know, I believe it's from the series 1. But now that they have this limited edition, this has, you know, may not need to, you probably don't need to spend that much for it because this was $30, a bit more than usual, but still I think worth it. And this is one out of 6,000, still a lot, but I'm so glad that they put this out because, you know, I wanted to get this one and I was thinking about, oh, should I just go to the secondary market? Let's pull this out. And it's like, I don't really want to spend that much for it. I think the most I spent on something that was discontinued was, you know, and it's also a rare or chase, was the Plo Koon Starfighter for about 60-ish, maybe $70. But I really wanted to get that one, and at least so far I have not seen it. However, as I was saying, because they did the new BTL Y-wing, I'm thinking that it would be nice if they do a battle pack eventually with Anakin's Starfighter or his Y-wing, as well as one of the other ones. I'm thinking Matchstick, to do different patterned colored the Y-wing bombers, and then have bring back Plo Koon Starfighter with the hyperdrive ring, and that would be a cool set for like destroy the malevolence or something like that, attack the malevolence set that's kind of related to that about 3 episodes in the early season 1 of the Clone Wars. So I'll have a closer look here. It's a nice packaging. You know, it's great for just display. So I hear you wanna get rid of those clear rubber band things because they can maybe discolor or tarnish somehow or add a nasty kind of sticky film or onto the vehicle itself over time. And I can imagine that. You know, I've seen how these things can be like when they get old, and it's probably not a good thing to leave it on the vehicle if possible. And this looks like you can free that. This is just for shipping. You can free those things and just leave it in here if you want to just for display like this, which it does make for a nice display for the most part. Yeah, that's probably what we do, but I don't display them in these boxes. The only other one I had was the Vault edition of the V-19 Torrent Starfighter. That's before they made them like a regular version of it. But I just picked that up, and I really like that. But then they didn't bother to keep it in the box. So you can see, nice decoration. I don't have a good clear baseline to compare this with in terms of what the original was like, because I never owned it, and I haven't looked closely at any videos or reference photos of how the original one was like in terms of its decoration, but I'm sure this should have a marked improvement in terms of maybe the fidelity and amount of details they put onto the actual starship itself. Just be careful with this. You don't want to add any any stress marks onto the clear plastic. It could turn kind of milky white, and then this should just come out. Hold on. I think I got it. Might have to go in to a couple other angles here to try to free this up. Let's see. It's weird. I'm not sure what's keeping it from coming out, but let's see if I can attack it from the other side. And, oh, wait a minute. It's actually, I'm getting confused. I think this interlocked with somehow it's interlocked with the base of this thing, so it keeps it from even flopping inside there. 1, 2, and then third one. Out here. Come on. There we go. They do a nice job of the packaging. And the figures usually that they come with, they usually have them already installed inside the vehicles. This knife out of the way. And yeah, it is interlocked on the bottom here. You see this tab? This is where that inner one is being held in. There we go. So it should come out. And before I get to the vehicle, sometimes they have a nice background. And what it is that it's actually kind of translucent. So if you wanted to, you could, like maybe you had a proper display to somehow add some backlight into it, and you put this in front of it. It could be a nice little kind of mini diorama. And they usually do these backgrounds pretty nicely. Sometimes I'm thinking they might separate from the actual packaging, but this looks actually printed all in one, so probably not this one. But anyways. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Hold on. As I was saying, actually I lost my thought completely. So we're gonna get rid of these things because we don't need them. Just be careful not to scratch the paint. There. And these were the ones that's holding it onto the platform. I mean, like this, what do you call this thing? I'm gonna have to dump this on the side. All right, put this on the side for now. So we got that out of the way. And I'm pretty sure the wings can pop off like the other TIE fighters. But go. And this holding on to the cockpit so it doesn't, I guess, accidentally somehow open and the character comes out. It sounds like, if I remember correctly, they don't situate too firmly, like securely inside the cockpit in the TIE fighters. They don't. I don't think they have anything that really holds their legs together. Get rid of this, and is it flat? Okay. Seems like it was kind of rickety. Then again, the surface that this is on is not 100% flat all the way through, but on this part of it, it seems like, back up below, you can see there's a little bit ricketing. So maybe angle, just do a little slight twist. I think that might potentially help. It's not completely sitting flat. Just go down. I suppose close enough for now. I'm a U to the fact that, again, my table top might not be 100% flat. Anyways, let's see, we can pop this open carefully. There we go. Yep, see, he's kind of taking a tumble inside. And it is pretty tricky to get inside here. Before we get to the figure, well, let's see, we'll get to the figure real quick first. Hang on a second. So, I'll hopefully see this clearly. Let's see if I can hit the focus on this better. Again, I don't have a baseline to compare the previous Sabine Wren figure that came with something like this, but just looking at this, looks pretty good. The details where they should be, they don't seem off. I'm not sure if, I'm trying to remember, you probably should expect a bit more. I may be tripping, but I could have sworn like there's a bit more, there would be more like details in terms of like more just painter or artwork throughout her armor instead of more these blocks of solid color. And given some of the details they've done on some other these small figures, it would seem impossible that they could probably print something like that. But otherwise, from what I can tell, where the colors are blocked in, it seems clean and where they should be. They don't look like they're, from what I can tell, they don't look like they're like offset off of the intended paint surface that they're supposed to be printed on. So, still looks good. So it should probably be in here anyway, so excuse me, won't be seeing it much. So we just took a closer look all around. Again, if you guys have owned the previous version, be interested to hear how it compares. I mean, I would say maybe this part of it inside here may have been, I don't know if there's really supposed to be orange between there like that. I mean, I kind of see that there. And I can only conclude, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, this main cockpit or canopy area, this fuselage, including the support struts that go up to this part of it, right? It was all molded in orange, and then they painted the grays, the yellows, and what all the other details on top of it, and that's why that's probably showing through right there. Yeah, I think, I don't know, they could have somehow done a cleaner job at coloring it up. I mean, if I wanted to, I could try to find a light gray to match this and just kind of fill it in, but I'm not feeling too concerned about it anyways. My main reason is that I think there's so much like colors, like striations or like lines and all sorts of textures of color going everywhere. It's somewhat it's not completely patchy, but you know what I mean. That kind of just sort of disappears and fades away in that sense. And well, let's take a look in here. Did they do any decoration for the engine? Right. Let's see. Well, I don't know. It is like not completely one color. Nothing on the inside, but you can see from what I can tell, there's like a gray at the base, and then they paint it like this metal kind of silvery color. Sorry, I'm off center. Silvery color on top, and then black, of course, in the middle. I guess I wouldn't say that's necessarily that is part of the engine, but I believe the main thrust for the engines were actually outside here. Those are the actual ion engines, and they're twins. So there's two of them. There should be like a red dot right there and right there to kind of indicate that that's a small engine glow. But otherwise, yeah, it's good. And I'm not going to try to. Yeah, there's absolutely. Well, let's see. I don't have a way to get it. Let me see if I can get a light up in here a little bit. You can sort of see they actually did bother to paint the inside, though. I don't know if they did that prior, probably not. And I can't imagine they've done that too much with the regular TIE Fighter. But you see that the triangular displays at the left and right of the controls, or what would be controls. It's got a blue kind of screen. So it's kind of cool. this is gray with some darker gray painted for the seats. And on this side, I think, yeah, there's a little bit of like those red triangles that you see on the interior of the cockpit sometimes. It looks like they try to do that there. There's some red triangles. So yeah, they did try to paint that, but it's kind of hard to see because the front windshield is a bit smoked, so it's not completely clear. But yeah, a lot of nice details on this. But you can see, again, there's nothing to hold the figure in place. She's just gonna roll around in there. I guess I'll try to put her in. I probably need to get a set of tweezers to really do it effectively. Hang on. So, it's a delicate operation. Let me get her into a better position, perhaps, for me to get her in there. What? Do the legs actually move independently? I don't think they're supposed to, but they just seem to be able to do that. Is that a new feature? I don't want to try to actually physically do it. Maybe it's just a thin joint that joins the hips. And if I twist too much, they might just snap off. Because I've never known them to independently move. At least I'm pretty sure the two legs always move together. Don't know that's a new feature. And I'm not sure if that will be that helpful anyways for any future releases. Because, I can't see why you would need to offset the legs. And besides that, they're not that much posable. If anything, they should really consider you have to put her straight and then bend her, and she's feet has to clear the controls. There we go. If anything, they should consider allowing the elbows to bend. Okay. There you go. That's about as secure as she's going to get in there. So, anyways, I won't be swooshing upside down much, and just, I'll probably find one of the display to get this into flight mode, perhaps, and then get that down. So, yeah, I think in conclusion, end to end, this is a nice addition for $30. I think it's fair. It's a kind of a limited edition. 6,000 is still a lot, but I think for those who missed out on 6,000, I don't know if that's smaller than the previous, like whatever chase or rare this was before, but it'll probably eventually sell out. I mean, Hera Syndulla's, her orange B-wing actually sold out reasonably quick. It wasn't instant, but it didn't take all that long to kind of sell out. I would imagine this might, perhaps, although technically you could get it on the secondary market, but why pay the higher prices for it, right? And this is supposed to have a better decoration too. So if you missed out on that, well, if you already have the original one and you just want to maybe potentially an improved version, it's not that much more. I mean, over a standard, I think, you go over this class. Well, how much would they cost this one? Maybe between $15 and $20-ish. So yeah, I mean, you do pay a bit of premium for these, but there is something nice about them. And again, if you missed out on it, the first, back in, I guess, Series 1, I think this is when they made it, then this is a great way now to finally get that into your collection, and without paying that much on the secondary market, and just get a brand new one, and probably superior decoration and everything, and that would be worth it. So, and quickly, I usually would cut out these the blueprint things, right? But because this is part of the packaging, I believe just like the V-19 Torrent Starfighter. I'm just going to leave all that together and just, put this nicely away and just have this on display. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.